Hey guys! Now in this video, I want to alert you guys to some of the issues that I discovered with the reproduction aftermarket automatic shifter plate made by both OER and Hawks Motorsports. Now among several of the problems with this product, one is particularly serious and potentially could lead to an accident. And after I contacted one of these companies, I found out something really shocking. So, keep watching. Now in 2018, I needed a new automatic shifter plate for my 1992 Camaro Z28. Now at that time, it meant that the car was now 26 years old. Now one of the issues of a 26-year-old car, which we tend to deal with, is the fact that the plastic tends to fade. And in my case, similar to many others, is the fact that the automatic shifter indicator plate tends to wear down. Now that usually leads us to three options. Number one, try and find a used one. Of course, that now means that you're dealing with another old, worn out product. Number two, try and find new old stock. That is quite rare and because of that, very expensive. Or number three, which unfortunately many of us end up having to go with, is a new reproduction replica. Now for me, I decided to go with the reproduction replica. And so I started searching around. Now at the time, it appeared that OER was the only place that was actually manufacturing this. And I seen it on Classic Industries, a place that I've bought products from quite a lot from previous years. So in 2018, I purchased it. It cost me $127.99 US after using a $30 promo code. And of course, plus shipping and handling. Now visually comparing the product, the shifter plate initially looked like a good replacement for my old worn out one. The yellow lettering seemed to match, and it seemed like overall it was a decent replica. However, that impression quickly changed once I started trying out the features, even before installation. Now the first issue that I noticed was with the ashtray. Now initially I thought to myself, well, it was just an easy fix, so I didn't really think too much of it. But things then took a serious turn, from being a simple fixable defect to some rather irritating nuisances to one being an outright potentially serious hazard as soon as I installed it. Now the following includes a set of different clips that I'd taken back in 2018. I recorded them as I was sending them to Classic Industries in order to show them step by step of all the things that was wrong with their product to try and get either a replacement or a refund.
This thing pops off very easy. So if this just lightly gets nudged, it pops out. From this position, I can't push this back in. See how it keeps popping out?
Now, as you can see guys, this is the factory original. I want to show you how this simply clips in. Right. That's it. It's stuck in there. It doesn't fall out. Right? It takes quite a lot of force to even move. It's not even moving. Right? To try and get that out, like I'm putting quite a bit of force to try and get that out, which means that it's properly clipping into where it needs to be. Unlike the OER brand, where it just keeps popping up, but you can see it's stuck in there. And there's a really good close-up where you can see how it clips in there properly. And then same thing in there. There's a clip. It clips inside.
Okay, so here's the other issue, is from the factory, from Classic Industries, these two here are bent this way on an angle. The only way you can get your ashtray in there, and for this to even fold, you have to bend this back. There's no way around it. You can't do it without modifying it. And it seems that other people are also saying the same thing. I've been reading up on it, and other people are complaining that you have to bend this. Now, if this is an exact mold, why is it that the original is straight? Doesn't make any sense. Why even bend them? They're all like that. And on the website, it actually even indicates that you have to modify it. Like, you know, so every single customer has to modify this in order for it to fit. Now, as you can see in the ashtray itself, there's two indentations on either side, which is meant for these rubber stoppers. So if that's the case, then why would they make these on an angle? Because obviously they're not going to lay flat. Here's a good way that you can tell that the color is different on here. This is the same color, this is the GM one, as the one on your dashboard. Okay, it's the same color. They got the exact same tone of yellow. It's the same tone as what's on anything to do with the yellow in the 1990 to 1992 Camaro. Now compare that with the Classic Industries version and you'll see the color is really, really different. Okay, so this is the Classic Industries one. This is the color. And you compare it to the actual color of what it should be. See the difference? You can actually see it as I move around. That's actually the color. For some reason, as soon as I stop, the phone changes its shade a bit. It almost lightens it up. But compared to that, if you're looking at the density of the color, to that. See how it looks like almost a lemon yellow as soon as I move? That's actually the color in real time compared to what it should be, which is actual yellow. It's almost like a yellow, orangey yellow. And there's where you can actually see the difference. Other than the fact that I've got a burn mark. Do you see the color of the blue? Now, the bulb and that blue is going to give a different tone. That's a lot lighter than that. That is why it's bringing up such this yellow lemon color as opposed to a light color. And you see how the black is showing through? So the light is showing through all these little scratches that are in there. There's a spring that is on the shifter plate, and if you open it up a few times, it will suddenly get stuck. Okay, it is opening up like normal. Oh, look. It's stuck. Oh, now it's working again. Stuck. Oh, now it works again. Stuck. It is. It's completely stuck. I have to fiddle around with it. So, if I had this in the car right now, I'd have to like open it up, close it, and then once it gets stuck, I gotta fiddle around with it just to close the actual door here. Now the reason for it is because of this spring. I don't understand what is going on, but the spring, why is it so far away? What's this? And you have the same thing with this. It's so far away. So what happens is it starts to work its way over here just because it's got little ripples on this. So here we'll look at it as I start to close it. Look, it's stuck. See how it's moved? I can't close it now. Until this thing kind of moves its way around. Well, until it eventually goes back into its right position. It's kind of hard to do with one finger. Oh, I can't get it now. There. Oops. That's falling out again. Oh, there we go. Okay, so where does it have to be? Right there. Okay. Once again, okay, closing. Oh, look, it got stuck again. Right.
Now the next thing I want to bring to your attention is how does the spring look on the factory original? And as you can see, the overall look of it looks similar to what OER has done. However, and this is the part that causes the issue, is do you notice how short the spring is? OER has put it like this, where there's these ripples that go back and forth. And so what happens is it slides back and forth. You don't need to on the factory. It stays in one place. It doesn't have the ability to slide back and forth because it's stuck in that tight loop. Same thing with this. Now, why OER has decided to make it this long extension and then curl is beyond me, because that's what causes the issue. And just so no one thinks that perhaps the ashtray is at fault, put the ashtray back in there, clip it in, we'll flip it around. Works perfectly fine. No issues. And you can see there's hardly any movement. It's stationary because it's being held in by the tight bends of the spring.
But this is the big one, okay? I cannot tell what I'm shifted into, and this frankly is quite dangerous, because if you look at it right now, I'm in park. Like, there's reverse, neutral, overdrive, drive, 2, and 1. So now it says 2, I'm in 1, I'm now in 2, and now it says drive. I'm now in drive, it says overdrive. I'm now in overdrive, it says neutral. I'm in now neutral, and it says reverse. This is actually reverse, and if I hit my foot on the gas, I would go slamming into the back of the car and then park. So this is quite dangerous. I don't need it being hit against the back of the wall because I can't tell what gear I'm in. Like, this is, you know, if I need to get into gear, I need to get into gear. If I need to hit reverse, you know, in a hurry, I don't want to be suddenly in neutral, right? So kind of get what I'm saying. Okay, so I have been able to figure out what exactly is wrong with the aftermarket one from Classic Industries. Okay, now this is my original one. This is the GM original. You can see how it's the original one. Okay. Okay, so I just want to show that this has nothing to do with my car in specific. This strictly is from Classic Industries, the mold that they're using, or it's defective. I have yet to figure that out yet. But this is to show you that on the original one, this all lines up. And if you notice right here, there's no gap. Okay, it's right at the end. It cannot go any farther, and it is completely in the red. And you'll see this is completely different in the Classic Industries version. Okay, so here's park, and in reverse. It's in there, it's not going anywhere. There's neutral, again, it's completely in the neutral. There's overdrive, again, it's in there, it's not going anywhere. There's your drive, it's all lined up. There's 2, all lined up, and 1, all lined up. And then you go 2, drive, overdrive, neutral, reverse, park. Okay, that all lines up the way it should be. Alright, I want to show you what I've discovered. I've discovered why this does not line up. Whether it's just mine, which I highly doubt, or it's just a really bad mold. It really seems that way. Now, if you remember in my video, that when my shifter is all the way at the end, you can see that this is completely lined up. You can see the oranges there. Sorry, it's kind of hard to focus. Okay, it's not going anywhere. I can't change that. It's not going to go halfway. On this one, on the Classic Industries, I'm just going to get my finger in here. See how it's at the end? And look where it is. It doesn't even line up. And that's exactly why everything is out.
Now, this is something that I was not aware of because there was no instructions when I bought the OER brand. I actually seen this, I discovered it when I was on a message board. You can adjust the placement of where the indicator is simply by moving, because the indicator is behind this. If you look carefully, there's an arrow on here. And what you do is you align, you kind of push back, and there's a little cam that allows you to adjust, in essence, the position of where this is going to be. Right now, I'm at the very end. I can't go any farther because this piece right here is pushing up against it, which changes the direction of where this is going to line up. So see, if I was pretending this is the gear shifter, you see the space. If you move this someplace else, you can see that now it is right up to top, and it's a little bit off. And you can do little bits here and there. So this is quite a bit of a large indicator, but it's away from it a little bit. Now you might think to yourself, well, that's simply the solution. The OER brand just had to be adjusted, right? That's what I thought. Unfortunately, I don't have video of the OER brand, but I can use this as an example of what I'm talking about when I say it does not work. So basically, right here is, I've set it, okay? It's right at the very end. It can't go any farther. It doesn't matter where you set it. It's ultimately where the car ultimately has its shifter. So if the shifter in park is actually above here, you can only install this with it in its position. So if I have to, let's say for example that, in OER this does not line up. So again, you're back to square one. Now, this is the original one. However, more or less, those arrows are matching. I assume that's where it's supposed to be. Now, if we put it into where it's supposed to be, so it's a little hard to do this for, you will see that it won't line up that way. Even the original one. You can see the big space on the front here. So you actually have to move it to where it fits. Okay? And so that's where you can see where it moves. So even if you were to adjust the OER one, when I put it in here, it would lose its setting anyways. And so it did not matter whether or not I had it on here. Now, if you look on here, you will see when I take it off, we'll see the setting on here and see it moved. That's where it needs to be. So the point I'm trying to make is the fact that it does not matter whether or not you use the ability to align it or not. The OER one would not work, period. Just like this factory original, because that is actually where the setting is. Now, just a quick thing. If you enjoy the videos that I put on my channel, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you do decide to subscribe, please write "I subscribed" in the comments below, and I'll be sure to reply to each one of your comments. I appreciate that because it really does help the channel. Alright, so let's get back to the video. Now, back in 2018, Classic Industries offered me two options: a replacement or a refund. However, with all those issues that I ended up having, there was no way I was going to take a chance. So I ended up asking for a refund. Now, this is where I have to absolutely commend Classic Industries. And I wish that other companies did what they suggested. Now, usually when you find something wrong with a product that you buy online, you still usually have to send it back, where you're usually given maybe like a prepaid label, or you just have to pay for it to be sent at your own expense. And being that I'm in Canada, sending products from Canada to the US is not cheap. Now, sending products from the US to Canada might only cost a couple of dollars. However, sending from Canada to US could easily cost, with tracking, $30 or more. Then you risk being charged duty on the way back. So when Classic Industries suggested this, it just blew me away. They suggested right off the bat to simply take a photo of it destroyed. Now, if all companies allowed their customers to just destroy the product and simply show them that they destroyed it by showing them a picture of it, rather than going through the hassle of having to pack it up and send it back, if the company is just simply going to destroy it anyways, that would make it so much more easier for the customer. And I'm sure that customer would really appreciate it. That would be amazing customer service. Anyways, a couple days later, I got my refund. So a huge thank you to Classic Industries for doing that. I had also at that time contacted Hawks Motorsports and asked them if the one that OER sells is the same one that they're selling on their website. And they said yes. Now, I, of course, naturally took that as being that Hawks was selling the OER one on their own website. Now guys, as you can see in my video, I explained there are several issues with this product. Now this shifter plate is sold on the various popular websites such as eBay, Hawks Motorsports, 3rd Gen Ranch, Camaro Depot, Camaro Central, Eckler's, and Classic Industries. Now, interesting enough, it doesn't seem to be listed anymore on the OER website. Now, most of these sellers that you see are using either the same pictures or the same information. but they don't mention the brand. Now, what's interesting that I found is that Hawks Motorsports actually suggests on their website that they designed and produce the one that they sell. However, if you look closely at their pictures, which is different than what shows on other websites for like such OER, they have the same flaws. The light colored lens, the elongated spring, and the bent ashtray tabs. Now, even though that they imply that this is a product that they designed and produced, then obviously that means you can go to them instead of OER, right? It's not actually the case. Now, I reached out to Hawks Motorsports and was actually shocked by what they told me. According to them, they are the manufacturers and they sell a lot of the products to OER, including the shifter plate. Now, I've always been under the impression that OER was a manufacturer and that the ones you see on Hawks Motorsports and the other ones are just reselling them. But in this case of the shifter plate and many of the OER products, it's the other way around. Hawks Motorsports apparently is manufacturing them and selling them to the other distributors, such as OER. And then OER is putting, apparently, their name on it. It just goes to show you that not everything is as they seem to be. And that explains why we are seeing the same issues with the one from Hawks as well. Now, despite the fact that this product has been on the market for over 6 years, they have yet to address these issues, and they're still being sold on your popular websites. So that I find very concerning. So guys, tell me, if you have purchased this product, please leave a comment below because I'd really like to hear from you. Let me know where you bought it, when you bought it, and if you had any issues. Because I know it's nothing to do with just me. There are many, many videos online and reviews that are stating the same issues. There's even one YouTuber on video where he's made several videos of trying to fix the shifter problem, going from riveting parts and gluing parts and moving things around, finding that it completely resets after it shifts down to the bottom, comes back up. In other words, there's no easy fix for it. So basically, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is that if you're deciding to go with a aftermarket replica, just know that the one from OER and the one from Hawks Motorsports, they're the same thing. And just be cautious of these flaws that I've told you, especially that one that could potentially lead to an accident. And as you had already seen in my video, even with the part where you can adjust it, it doesn't make a difference. It does not seem to fix it. Please share this, let other people know so nobody else has to deal with this. This is something I think a lot of people really should be making known because, like I said, you don't want to be in the wrong gear. When you're trying to get out in a hurry and somebody's coming at you, you don't want to be, in neutral when you want to get into reverse. And I say this is a pretty important flaw that needs to be addressed. All right, guys, I hope this video was of some help to you. So I'll see you on the next video. Bye.